Hey, this is Mike from Absolute Comfort and Sun Heating and Cooling. We're in York, Pennsylvania. We service the York, Lancaster, and Hanover area for all your HVAC needs as far as residential replacement, maintenance, and repair. We're open 24/7, and we change lives 1 degree at a time. That's what we're here to do. You can get a hold of us at 717-814-2070 or 818-1785. Our website is absolutecomfortandsunllc.com, and we can reach 24 hours a day.
Here we go.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Road to Results podcast, where we're all about uncovering the mindset journey. And as you heard previously to this intro, this episode is sponsored. Yes, this episode is sponsored by Absolute Comfort and Sun LLC, meeting all your heating and cooling needs, y'all, in the PA area. And so for today's special episode, we actually are going to do a sponsor highlight episode. So if you can, do me a favor, put your hands together. A big round of applause for the one, the only. Come on, let's give it up for Mike and Kathy Haney. What's going on, y'all? Yes, good. What up? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Road to Results podcast. First and foremost, on behalf of Ray and myself, we want to just say thank you. Number one, just for your friendship. Before anything else, we are friends, and we believe friends are our chosen family. That's something that Danielle and I are big on. Our friends are our chosen family. So having you all as number one, as family with us, is definitely important. But lately, we've been making moves as we're talking about the road to results. And we've been fortunate to just continue to grow in relationship with you both and continuing to grow with you in all kinds of ways. And when we had an opportunity for a sponsorship for the podcast, you jumped on it right away. So we are definitely thankful again for all the different ways that you show up for your family, for our family, for the community, and of course for the R2R podcast, So welcome. What say you, Ray?
Man, you said family. And that's just like, I don't think you know how grateful we are for y'all to, one, support us, like just actually showing up to listen to the podcast, bringing the business in, and then, not just going there from, okay, the supporting role. Can I just be real? I mean, this is a road to results. Initially, we're going to call it Real with Ryan Ray. So we're going to go just be real quick. It's one thing when someone's like, yo, I'm proud of you. Hey, this is awesome. But to actually not just give us your time and attention, but then to actually put skin in the game. Like, you're betting on us. And I love it because it puts more pressure on us to increase. So, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. But no, man, you said family. I mean, this last week we just had the opportunity to be together. And my baby girl got to meet you guys and got to meet your girls. And they had a sleepover, and they absolutely loved it and cannot wait until the next one. So, hey, y'all, when we say this is family, like it is real, but it only comes from a mutual appreciation of not just relationship, but the effort that we put in the growth of ourselves and the businesses and how much we try to pour into other people. So, Mike and Kathy, love you both, and truly, truly, truly thank you.
We love you guys too, man. You guys are for real family.
Yeah, let's go ahead and kick it off. So if you can, let all of our viewers know, our audience, new and old, who you are, what you do, and just whatever you feel comfortable sharing with the rest of us.
Absolutely. I'm Mike. This is my wife, Kathy. We run Absolute Comfort and Sun Heating and Cooling out of York, PA. We step into lives to change lives, not pockets. So every time we step in a house, we try to make a value that nobody else will give. And that's really about it. What do you got, babe?
Yeah, we're definitely out. We change more lives. Yes, we're in homes every single day, your most private, personal space that anyone could be in. And we have people coming to us asking us for dinner, going to church with us. Like, honestly, people are changing our lives as much as we're trying to help and change theirs. So it's a give situation either way, give and receive.
Love it, love it. So if you could, yeah, just give us a little backstory. Like, how did you even get into the HVAC industry? You know, where do you serve? Who do you serve? All those kinds of details. Like, I love hearing origin stories. I'm big on origin stories. So if you could, yeah, just take us back to where it started, how it started, and you know, there might be two versions of it. So that's why we're here. We want to just get the real. So whoever wants to start first.
There's one main version. In 2000, I was graduating high school, played football behind my high school because I played ball, and went out for that long Hail Mary catch, caught it, and fell into the HVAC guy's van. So he's like, "Oh man, that was a good catch. You want a job?" So that's how it got to where it is 23 years later.
No. Are you serious? Is that real?
Dead serious, man. Went for a long Hail Mary and did a one up at the one arm catch and grabbed it, got it, and fell right into the guy's van. Right in the
Literally,
backseat.
you literally fell
in.
into this industry.
Yep.
Wow.
Mike mossed his way into an HVAC.
Wow. That's awesome. Okay. So you fell into the van and then he's like, you want a job? And then, yeah, what was that like? What did you do from there?
So we offered seven of us a job that we're playing. And I'm the only one that made it 3 months. And I got a full scholarship for the Union in Philadelphia. And my just career went from there because, I mean, you guys know me well enough that I'm a high executor. Any challenge accepted, I high pilot that stuff. So, I made a career out of it. I went from the Union to NASA, from NASA to the Marine Corps. Did 3 tours in Afghanistan, 1 in Baghdad. Was in Egypt for a little bit. Ended up in the Caribbean at the end of my career doing HVAC. And came home, worked for a couple people. Met this amazing woman who changed my life. No, it's for real. And then
Can I say something?
Huh?
Can I say something? Just because we're still talking about football. This is a classic example when someone says you outpunted your coverage.
Right?
Yeah.
So for those of y'all who don't mean. Kathy's a catch. Mike outpunted his coverage, but hey, that says more about Mike's character than it does his football skills. I'm sorry. We were still on this football talk, so I just had to say it. I love you both. Okay, I'm sorry.
You're good.
No, what was that, Kathy? You kind of broke up.
Oh, I said he was a blessing to me instead of me being the blessing to him. Like, honestly. So we met 8 years ago. 8 years ago. I don't know if everyone knows our origin, but honestly, we met online. eHarmony, there you go. And we started with a few messages through emails, then through text, then we started talking. Finally, one day he called me. We were on the phone literally
24 hours.
all day talking on the phone. I was just previously in a car accident.
And you said this was 8 years ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Were you guys on the weekend using your rollover minutes or your free minutes? Like, how was that working?
It was.
I want
details.
details.
What was it? It was like what, a Thursday night?
Yeah, Thursday
night on holiday Friday, and
the phone bill was high, bro. No joke. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I worked overtime there. We covered that. Yeah, I know what you're going.
Yeah. So for those youngins that are out there listening, okay, we said 8 years ago. Okay, this wasn't just free minutes, free anytime. This was when we were like waiting to call people. They call me after 8. Call me after 8, or we'll just talk this weekend. So when they say they were talking for 24 hours, we had to put context behind this and understand Mike was already making the investment. They were already making the investment, the deposits into the relationship, because y'all may think it's small, but that was a real thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real thing back then.
And before we even move forward, y'all, like I love catching these stories because I'm catching the lessons as well. So as Mike literally fell into an HVAC van, here was the difference though. Like, let's really look at this. What happened next? The invitation. Right, you could have just fell in the dude's van. He'd be like, "Oh man, you good? All right, get back out to it." But no, he invited you and 6 others. So he gave y'all a chance. And something that I noticed about you, Mike, lately, as I've been learning about you and kind of the way you run your business, you do this exact same for your people. You give them a chance. You give them a chance. So catch that, y'all. Road to results. 23 years later, literally fell into the van. Someone offered an opportunity, and he took it and stuck with it. So wherever you are on your road, was watching, like notice those little opportunities or invitations that you get, those windows of opportunity, and just, the question is, are you utilizing it, right? Are you taking full advantage of it? So yeah, I just wanted to share that before we move forward. So Mike, you were doing HVAC in the military. And this was what, 23 years later. So 8 years ago then, Kathy, what was your take when you met Mike and you knew he was doing HVAC? Like, what were your initial thoughts about like just the HVAC industry and the work he was doing?
Honestly, I really didn't know nothing about it. Honestly, I worked in the medical field. I was a medical assistant and a phlebotomist. So anything medical you threw at me, we were game on. But anything else, forget it. So when we met, I moved from Pittsburgh to York. After we first met, we were not even together a full year, and we were married. But during that time, like we struggled, honestly. Like we were selling our blood to make ends meet. He was partners with another gentleman, part owner of a business, and it got to the point to where he was going months without a paycheck, months. So it was me supporting the family for the longest time.
Got it. So
And
let's pause right there just for clarity. So you got into the HVAC industry, Mike, and you were working for someone the whole time until
Most part, I
how?
had a partner right before we got together. I partnered up with a guy to help his business, and it went
Okay.
real bad. I lost about 150,000.
So was that Absolute Comfort and Son, or was it a different
Uh,
name?
different company.
Ah, different company. Got it. Got it. So then you went separate ways. You took the loss. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just pause there. Go ahead, Kathy. Continue, please.
yeah, so right before we went our separate ways, like we were literally like selling our blood to make ends meet, to just pay for our bills, keep a roof over our head. Eventually, it got to the point where we took our income tax check. A neighbor down the street needed a job done. They called Mike up. He ran down that night, checked it out. We ordered them their equipment that day, went ahead, and that's when Absolute started on its own by itself. Yep.
Mm, mm.
And it's been
Hey,
ever
Rye,
since.
you said something right there, but I want to go back and redact that from the record. He didn't take a loss. Mike took a lesson. Because without that loss, we
Mm-hmm.
don't see them in front of us right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
We
went
win or
like
we
we always
learn. We
want to
don't.
be. Yeah. We win or we learn. If we take an L, it better be a lesson. Because I want to make sure that people catch that. You're like, how do you take a 6-figure loss and then make the adjustment to get to where you are here now, to where you have a 7-figure business? That 6-figure loss was necessary to have that 7-figure gain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like there's a certain, like, I want to jump into that piece if we can. Like, yeah, we do want to have you on here and give you your flowers for appreciating and helping and supporting us. But those are those moments where we have like, there's a catalyst when we look back, where people have options, they got choices, so we can continue to progress on this road to results, or we can go ahead and sit on the side with a flat tire, sticking our thumb out, waiting for somebody to help us continue on, join their little journey. So what was going on in your mind when you're like, okay, I took this lesson, but this isn't going to break me?
My thoughts were, I'm not a quitter, and this is in the end. It's just the beginning. I learned a valuable lesson what not to do and what to look out for, and I'm not one to lay down and take a beating. I'm gonna keep on fighting and pushing. No regrets, no surrender. So that's what I did. I just pushed forward. I had opportunity and seized it, and I've been pushing forward ever since. Just no surrender.
Love
Yeah, I
it.
love it.
I mean, I'm gonna assume the answer, but I want to definitely hear from Kathy. So, what was your mindset? Right, this is uncovering the mindset journey, y'all. We want to give this to y'all as real as we possibly can, as transparent as we can. So, when we had that 6-figure lesson, and here you are barely making ends meet. And how many kids did we have at the time? Like, let's bring full context at this time. How
All
many
four.
kids did we
Well,
have?
3 plus 1 on the way.
Yeah.
Because that's
Three.
right
So
when we
three
found
plus,
we were pregnant.
yeah, 3 plus 1 on the way, and we barely making ends meet. So what was it for you, Kathy? Again, I know we've had conversations, but I love for our guests and our audience to know, like, in the support role that you were in, like, what were you thinking, going through mentally, emotionally, it's like spirit, and then what was the mindset to say, you know what, here, let's do this.
Honestly, when you put something in this man's mind, there's no stopping him. Like, honestly. So all I had to do was know I just had to support him. I did what I had to do on my back end. I picked up extra hours at the hospital of what I could do. So at least something was coming in the back end while he was out busting his butt every single day, making sure he was getting the company going how he wanted it to get to. And literally within a year?
Not even 7 months.
We hired our first employee. So it went from Mike to another employee. Within a year after that, we had...
No, you're missing a big part. Month number 9, I asked you to quit your job.
Yes.
And come work for me.
I got goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, I quit the hospital and I took over the office role then in the office. So he would come home from work, honestly, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
And he would work till like 1 a.m. At that time, we were doing a lot of home warranties. We were doing a lot of...
anything we would get.
Any call that came to us, we were taking at that point because we're just starting the business, so we had to do what we had to do. So he was on the phones doing home warranties, anything that we could possibly get at the time. And the office was located in Cali, so they didn't close to, I forget what time it was their time, but he was on the phone till at least 1, 2 a.m. every single night.
Wow.
So it got to the point where the man had to sleep. And at this time, we just had Emma, and Emma never slept. So I quit my job. Let me quit my job. I took over the office role. So I took a huge chunk off his plate and handled all the paperwork, all the warranties, all the registrations, the phone calls, to where eventually we ended up having to hire another person to just help me in the office there for a while because it got that extreme for a while. Yeah. And it just went on from there. It was history ever since. It just slowly started growing since then.
I love it. And so when you shared your answer with me, right, the word that was coming up for me was belief, right? You believed in Mike that much.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, hey, when this man got his mind set to something, I believe, right? Like, I believe in what he's doing and who he is and that he's going to come through. So you said a year later, he's like, no, 7 months. And, he's like breaking it down. And so I love that. Again, road to results. Do you believe in yourself, and do the people in your company or in your organization or your support system, do they believe in you, and at what level do they believe in you? So whether you are a married couple watching this pod, or your business partners, or your team is here, I think that's the other nugget I'm taking from your story is we gave everything up. We made this huge sacrifice, but because of the belief system that y'all had inside of you, brought you to where you are today. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
I'm getting all these power couples in the chat. Shout out to Janine from the Netherlands, Candice Mackey, Eva Palacios here with us. Just grabbing y'all a lot of love and flowers into Facebook. So thank y'all for dropping the comments there.
Hey, Mike. So how did you? We ended the day one of the R2R summit yesterday. Just a few nuggets, and one of them was who asked you, like, with the grind and everything we're doing, is like, who asked you to do it? Like, was there a conversation between the two of you leading up to the point, okay, we're going to be putting in some hours? Like, Kathy's like, okay, this man wasn't even sleeping. Was there a conversation between you two, like, hey, like, I'm going to be here, but we're building something, so I'm going to have to give that a lot of my attention? Not to say that Kathy was not getting any of the attention. I mean, obviously we have Emma. So, but there's a certain intentionality behind a conversation like that. As you're growing a business, as you're planting those seeds, as you're putting in all these hours, as you're learning how to operate as a business owner, to not only put in those hours, but then to turn to Kathy and be like, hey, one, I want to know how you asked it, but to be like, hey, quit your job, or can you quit your job, or whatever it was, how you stated it. But like, there's a certain thing that has to happen, and we ended it yesterday with the road to the reset, to relaunch as far as day one. Like, y'all gotta remember, sometimes when you're grinding like this, sometimes that's just an internal thing and no one asked you to do that, but we're doing it for everybody. But obviously Kathy knew that you were doing it for. What was the conversation like? Like, was there one, or was there just like an unspoken, we know we're about to get into this and it's going to require a lot of energy, time, and effort?
It was so busy. So CJ said it the best. When you know you're bursting at the seams, you have to make a move. And before even meeting C, that's what happened. We were so busy. She saw the stress and the struggle I was having, even though we were having major success, that she's like, all right, what has to work here to make you better? Because you're burning out. I'm like, I need you to quit your job. I need you to come be here with me all the time. Like, and it was honestly a selfish thing, because I just wanted to see more of her. Because our marriage has never struggled. We're really strained, but it was that disconnect that we just didn't like. We were talking on the phone, but we didn't have our connection like we have on a daily now. And that was hey, we need that connection back. What's it going to take to make that connection again, so we're not losing not losing our marriage, but just losing that little piece of our love? And nothing's worth that. So what we have to change and shift in our space. So she's okay. She's like, I'll tell them. I'll give them my 2 weeks. I'm like, no, you just go and you tell them you're done.
I did.
And she went in that night, said, I'm done, came home. They said, okay, bye. And
they were trying to beg me not to leave. I'm like, nope, see you later. Honestly, we only got to see an hour of each other, maybe an hour every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I worked night shift in the hospital. I wouldn't come home to 6, 7 a.m. We literally passed baby between each other, and he'd leave out the door to go to work. Same thing when he
I'll
came
throw
home.
myself under the bus. She'd walk in, I'd be crying because Emma didn't sleep and I'm so exhausted. She'd be crying because she knew she had to stay up with her. So it was a lot of tears shed those moments. So, I'll put it out there.
Yeah. Right. What is it? What is that scripture as far as those who sow in tears will reap in joy?
I'm about to look that up, but if our audience knows, definitely drop that. Yeah, and also, and again, I love this. I love the transparency here, because I think a lot of the times people see the results and they see the fruits, and we know that there's sacrifice, and we know that there's dedication and hard work and commitment, but it's going to look different for all of us. So I love that y'all are just sharing both of your perspectives.
It's going to look like the statement for all my business owners out there. It's going to look like the statement that we get a lot of times. It must be nice. Mike, must be nice to go to Atlanta and then go to Michigan and then go on a honeymoon vacay or an anniversary vacay. It must be nice. But they don't see all of this. That's why it's important. That's why, yes, we want to have you on as gratitude for what you've done, but people need to understand we're still going to have these conversations about what it takes to get here, the commitment and the endurance to get to this point. And honestly, bro, like we've said it, and you've said it, like you're just getting started. Like this is it's not a okay, we're here. Like there's never an arrival point. That's why we love when we came. The mindset journey is a journey, and you have to go to one level to the next. And there's a level of endurance and commitment, and as what you guys just described, a level of sacrifice that it takes to get here. And it doesn't ever really go away. It just looks different when you get to different phase and stage. So unless Rhy has a question, I was just gonna say, like, what does it look like on this next phase that we've been kind of behind the scenes looking at? Like,
go to the future. Hold on, before we go to the future, because I definitely want to jump into that too.
That's why I said before.
how long? So here's my question. So when was it? When was that moment? So the sacrifices are happening, the 1 hour, the trade-offs, the little sleep. How long before you started getting into like a more comfortable rhythm did it take for y'all to get there? And then like y'all have that moment where you looked at each other and was like, we in, like we're moving now. Like, like there's all that pain, that sacrifice you're going through. When did you find that like that healthy rhythm? How long did it take for you to get there? Like, was there like a moment where where you kind of look at each other like Mike and Scotty, be like, yo, we got this. We in now. You know what I mean? Because I always want people to understand how long the sacrifice might be before you even get to that space of having a nice rhythm. So how long would you say before you got a little more comfortable after kind of this initial phases of sacrifice?
I'd say about 4 years ago we never got comfortable, but 4 years ago is when it settled in. We bought our first house together. Mm-hmm. We were renting, and I was like, "Look, we need to have our own place." And Kathy's like, "Okay, we'll get there." I'm like, "No, 6 months we're gonna have a house. Like, bet, let's go." 6 months on a dime.
Oh, to the date.
To the date.
6 months we closed.
Okay, so timeline. So Kathy leaves her job, and then from then it was 6 months, and you bought your first place.
No, it was about 4 years till that point. So it was 4 years of hard work and dedication. And then, 4 years ago, we bought our house. We've been in this house for 4 years.
Come on, y'all. That part. All right, so really catch that. 4 years. It reminds me of like, the Olympians, right? They train for years and years and years for just like a track runner for like 10 seconds. So I want everyone to catch that. 4 years of grind and sacrifice of putting the business, whatever having the priorities before getting and just breaking through to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just to allude to what Ray was saying, just to kind of set that up, Mike, you mind if I share what we were talking about future wise?
Absolutely.
So Mike, when we were having a conversation, I was like, okay, so what's the plan? Like moving forward, he's like, well, we do 7 figures now. I want to do 8 figures in the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. So, and when you said that to me, and I think Danielle was even with us, the confidence you had, I looked at Danielle, I was like, oh, that's happening. Right? Like the way that you present yourself and the confidence and the belief that you have, you're like, yeah, we make, 7 figures now profit, but we want to do 8 figures in the next 3 to 5 years. And we're going to scale. And I was like, whew, let's go. So again, for me, just wanted to let you know that in that moment, in that time, it was like, we are in the right environment to grow. So thank you for bringing your confidence and just kind of the way you shed light on all of us as a couple individually and even in your industry, which is amazing. So so let's talk about what's the future of Absolute Comfort Sun LLC look like. What are your thoughts? Right now you're servicing PA. Can you just let everyone know where you actually serve for those who might be in your area that are following the pod?
Sure. Yeah, we're in Central York, PA, between Lancaster and Harrisburg. So we service Lancaster, York, and Hanover area. It's about a 85-mile radius. That's our service area.
Dope. I love it. And and if you have any questions, y'all, in the chat, go ahead and just type those in so we can bring those on. Another question I did have though, again, before we go to future, like what was your like oddest, weirdest job as an HVAC? Like take us through like what I'm always curious, right? Like what first tell us like what are some of the, like when it comes to HVAC folks, like what are some of the preconceived notions, number one? Like what are some of the things that like, I mean, do HVAC folks have good reps, bad reps? I'm not sure. It's not my industry. I do know there are some people that go around just making money off making stuff up. I'm not sure. So if you want to like maybe clear the air on some of the things or confirm some of the things that people say about the HVAC industry and then share maybe one of your like wildest stories, we'd love to hear that.
Sure, definitely. Well, I'm gonna keep it PG. I'm not gonna go deep, so I'm not gonna wax that way. So the contractor industry is pretty grimy, and that's why we are who we are, to change that of the industry, because there's a lot of great companies out there and a lot of great guys where we're at, and bigger and smaller than us, who are just fantastic, amazing people doing the right thing, treating the homeowners and customers right. But there are a lot of guys you hear just on the news a lot, blowing up houses, not taking care of stuff. So it's really like 75-25 reverse mix, and we're going to switch that. That's our game plan as far as who we are, what we want to bring to the table, and have trusted contractors coming in back into houses. Not fly-by-nights, not this guy came and I can't find him, he's out of business the next day. So we're going to break them. We're not going to try. We're going to break that trend. So that's our game plan. As far as craziest thing I can tell you on air, oh man, This is gonna be a book one day, guys. So,
Hey, come on, let's start writing the chapters
Hold
now.
up.
Yeah, I already started. I already started posting
Mike, I
comments
told
about
you, man. I'm the wrong one to think out loud in front of.
Yeah, I know you are. That's why I'm saying it. Push me. Let's see. All right, we were doing a duct cleaning in South Philadelphia, and ductwork started moving on its own. A rat, probably about 4 feet long, jumped out. Falling behind it was about $3.5 million. It was
What?
mob money. Cops came,
Oh,
FBI came. It was wild.
Wait, say
Oh,
that again.
yeah. We were changing the ductwork out because the ductwork had a weird smell to it, and like it was starting to sag. So we're moving it around, and the duct started moving by itself. So we all freaked out, ran back. A 4-foot rat. I'm talking big splinter-looking thing. I was waiting for Ninja Turtles to pop out, and we're like, "What happened?" So the ductwork fell. Everybody ran. Once the dust settled, we saw $100 bills hanging out of the ductwork. There was quite a few $1 million hanging out there. We had to call the FBI and all that stuff, and the state came in, and we had to get fingerprints and statements, and we got detained for like a week. All of us had to get fingerprinted, background checks. I mean, dude, they took hair, blood, everything.
oh, wow. They probably
Yeah,
thought y'all were
Hey,
in on it, maybe.
they did. They
hey,
did, especially in Philly.
dad joke.
They thought you were
Dad
planning
joke
it,
coming.
maybe.
Dad joke coming.
Wow, that's
That
crazy.
rat was straight snitching.
He was snitching. He had
Oh
no
my
cheese.
goodness. That's crazy.
Oh, jeez.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kathy, what were you thinking during that time?
Oh, I wasn't with him at that time. So that was when he was still working for other guys back in Philly before we ever met.
Yeah, I was about
So
22 years old, ready to go. I was a week out of boot camp. I
Okay.
was just getting ready to boot camp.
Okay. Hey, so answer it in the chat. What are y'all doing if a few million falls out of an HVAC? The duct work. I mean, be honest. Be honest. I'm not sure I would have left with empty pockets. So, a tribute to Mike's character, especially at the age of 22. So just drop it in the chat. What are y'all doing when a few million? And be honest, okay? We're not here trying to act like we saints, but
Like
I'm letting you know
who we are now, or the who we were then, or the.
Right, he said he was 22. At 22, I'm not leaving
All
with
right,
empty
that's
pockets.
22. What would you have? And don't worry, y'all. You know how we do it. We take these pods off at midnight, and then you got to get it back on the recording. So, but there is a question here for y'all. How do y'all balance home and business life? That's a question from one of our viewers right now. How do you balance home and business life?
We make time
That's
for
from
each
your
other.
girl. It's your girl, Dari.
Sorry.
Yeah, we make it non-negotiable. We have non-negotiables in our marriage.
Mhm. So I work from home. Honestly, the office is here at our house. Thank God, because that way then I get the little ones off to school in the morning. I'm here when they get off the bus. I can still get office work done throughout the day, get dinner ready before he gets home. Or if it's just that hectic of a day, it's either we're going out to eat later in the day or door dashing something. But we make it a priority to make time for each other too. So every Saturday, every Sunday morning, we have our time together. We get up at 6, 7 a.m. We go get coffee. We go to church. We do grocery shopping. We make it a priority, like I said. It's a non-negotiable for us time. And then once we get back, we'll get the kiddos. And the weekends is honestly our family time. We go to Hershey Park. We go to the movies. We go just shopping, taking them to go see friends and hang out at a store or to the park or whatever. We try to make it fun for them too, because we need that family bonding time. Because during the week, it's so hectic with school, work, phone calls, meetings. We really don't get to spend a whole lot of time as a family during that.
Every Zoom call that's ever available anywhere you guys are on.
I know Mike is on. Y'all are on everything. I'm on everything. But, no, I love that because you know what I loved about how you shared the way you shared it, Kathy, was you shared some of the like the most simple basic things. You know, going shopping or doing this, which some people take for granted. And the way that you just shared that, I don't know if y'all caught that on the internet, but I caught the passion of like the priority of it, and making everything you do fun or intentional, and making it matter and making it quality time. So thank you for just, sharing like, yeah, this is how we do it. This is how we balance it out. These are the non-negotiables, because we know it's busy during the week. So when we do go shopping on the weekend, or go get ice cream, or go to the movies, right? Like those things matter, especially for our young people. I mean, they don't know the difference between doing something super extravagant or not. I think your presence is truly the gift. Your
And not
presence
only
is truly the
that,
gift.
we keep our kids involved with the business though too. So at night when they come home from a job, they'll help us unload the work van. They'll help us load it back up with either parts or tools or whatever. Like they love helping out. They love help taking out the trash, breaking down the boxes. So little things like that too. And honestly, our older two go out onto the jobs with us. They help us do the installs. They get to interact with the customers, and a lot of our customers are pretty awesome. So they got pets, or they're into certain hobbies, and and they bring the kids and keep them involved too. So it's pretty awesome, the environment that we put everything together. Like we make, like I said, no matter what, kids are number one, our family's number one over everything. But without the business too, we want to be able to have a lot of that too. So we make sure we do a equal balance of everything, meshing it all together.
Absolutely. I love that. And here's a question that might go in with that as well. We have a question. What advice do you give to couples just starting out and considering making the 9 to 5 transition to entrepreneurship? What advice do you give couples just starting out and considering making the 9 to 5 transition to entrepreneurship?
No matter how much work you're going to put into your business, you put double that work into your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's key. You want to succeed, you have to succeed at home before you succeed in the world.
Say it again.
Break
You have
that
to
down,
succeed
Mike.
at home.
Break it down.
Yeah, you have to succeed at home before you succeed in the world. Honestly, it's very true. As hard as I work out in that field, I work 10 times harder here. Because she's worth it. The kids are worth it. You guys are worth it. We go out to hunt, we bring the food back. It's that pack mentality. That we live by that wild dog mentality.
How about for you, Kathy? What would you say for a couple just starting entrepreneurship that are considering transitioning into the 9 to 5? What would your advice be?
Oh, absolutely. With him, 110%. You definitely got to give it into your marriage too, or whatever relationship you have at that moment, because you two are each other's backbone through everything. So if you guys don't have that commitment with each other, there is no commitment to anything else. Also, too, you got to learn to have patience, compassion, understanding,
Forgiveness.
and forgiveness. Because there was nights he didn't come home till almost 1 a.m. I'd be exhausted with running with 4 kids all day and having to do schoolwork and run them from point A to point B. At that time, our kids were all in different schools, daycares, so they were all over. Honestly, it took me over 3 hours to go pick up kids every single night and to come home and then get dinner ready and wait for him to come home and bath them. But I would do it all over again. Like,
Yeah.
he's sacrificing, but I was sacrificing. But at the end, we're in this together for a reason. And our reason's finally coming to light and turning around to the point to where now our kids are learning to appreciate that now. Because what we put into everything, we're trying to prove to our children to do the same thing, so that someday they can get into their own business. Actually, our daughter wants to start her own business. We're pushing to where our older son starts to possibly do business. And the younger ones want to be a part of everything. So, and we just encourage that because, like you said, you never know what they're going to be when they grow up. But they also see mom and dad busting their butts and working together. And it sets up, what do you want to call it? It gives something for our children to look for in their relationships when they get older. Like, don't accept nothing less.
Yeah.
The girls, like,
Yeah.
with their dad. Yeah.
There's an important key there too that you can't miss. Is just because I was working a lot, I was always present.
Yes.
I would always make a FaceTime. I would always try to stop back at home for a little bit just to be present so they know I'm there. Hey, even if I just had a snack with the family for 5 minutes, kiss them, wash my face, and went back out. Make that time to be present. Don't just, well, I'm busy. No, life is too short. You have to be present.
I love that. I love that. So for the original question, right, I'm hearing number one, as a unit, make sure that you're strong. Like that you have the patience, that you have the understanding, the compassion, because as starting entrepreneurship or starting entrepreneurs, there's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be struggles. There's going to be challenges. So I would even go on to add whatever you are deciding to transition into, make sure that it is something that you are truly passionate about in some way, shape, or form. Because a lot of the times we see people jumping into careers or businesses doing things that can be very lucrative. However, it's just not in them and they don't have necessarily the grit to keep going. And then if the relationship isn't strong and the foundation isn't strong, then everything falls apart. So thank y'all for that.
Are we going to have our first debate on the R2R podcast? Uh-oh. And well, first off, back then when Mike and Kathy were going back and forth as far as having like peace, love, patience. There's a commonality there, so we're always going to give that piece. Fruits of the Spirit, y'all. Love, peace, joy, patience, kindness. Fruits of the Spirit. So don't miss that piece. And then the other part, what I'm hearing is the commonality, that I'm always and sometimes Mike and Kath, I have to remind myself of this as well. Like it is, the whole if you want more, you got to prepare for it, do the prep work, whatever. But that one right there, like what you do can never be bigger than why you do it. Like what you do can never be bigger than why you do it. And it seems like you've kept that in front of you at all times, like remembering why you're even grinding, why you're putting this much time in, why you're putting this much energy in. So I'm going to have to go away from what Rhy said, and we'll give him a chance to clarify that as far as jumping into something that you're passionate about. Because I completely disagree. I completely disagree with that. And I know he probably meant it in a different way. But, being passionate about maybe why you're doing it, okay. But the thing you're doing, what you're doing, that piece, yeah, I'm not so on board with that. And I don't mean that in a negative way, because I think we're all on the same page when the focus on why we're doing something and who we're serving. They said right there, we're here to change lives, not change pockets. That part being in the forefront, yeah, you can be passionate about that piece, but the specific thing of what you're actually going to do, the works you're doing, don't think that you have to be passionate, because I think that's where people find they start to idle. Like, I don't know what I'm passionate about. I don't know what I enjoy. I don't know what I do this. And Ryan and I talked about that before. Your gift may not be what you're passionate about. Your passion is for you. So the results, the why, who I'm serving, the things I get to do, the fruits of my labor, the fruits of my spirit, the things I'm able to do. Yeah, I can be passionate about that, but don't mistake your efforts and the work you're actually doing that you think you have to be passionate about that. Because the gift that is inside of you, it is not a gift if you keep it to you and it's for you. Your passion is for you. We've talked about this before. The passion is for you. That is something that you have a emotional attachment to and that you're willing to die for, versus your gift is something that is not for you, you have to give away. But once you find that level of commitment and work ethic and sacrifice and all those things that you can have a level of appreciation for, find the passion in the fruits of your labor. So I did, and Ryan, I know just because, we are connected, whether you're in South Carolina, I'm in Texas, we are here and we speak a different language, just from the types of personalities we have. So I just wanted to, for those of you that think, okay, well, what am I passionate about? I should go do that. Understand that may not be your gift, but if you're passionate about what Mike was just saying right there, I go home for 5 minutes, wash my face, have a snack, give the kids a kiss, give Kathy a kiss, and I get back out there. I'm passionate about making sure that they understand that I'm still here, that I'm present, that I'm putting in 26 hours a day in this business. But at the end of the day, the business is not the thing that I am most passionate about. It is you. It is me being here. It is my time. It is that presence. So Rhy, I'm sorry. Me, man, I had to jump on that piece because I don't want that to be misconceived or misunderstood. when people are looking at how do I begin this road to results and thinking I need to find the thing that I'm passionate about, because that is completely and 100% not it.
Okay.
Moment of silence.
No. I mean, at the end of the day, I still stand where I stand at the end of the day, because I think something you said actually supports someone who does follow the things that they're interested in or maybe passionate about. As you always say, don't forget the business model. So if you can do something that you are passionate about, I am passionate about all the work that I do, like 1000%, and I follow the business model to make it work. So for me, and I get what you're saying, because you don't like real estate, you don't enjoy it, but it is the vehicle that is providing for you and what you're doing. So again, and I think this is where I love as a couple, back to the original question, these are the conversations you have to make sure that what you're doing is moving the needle.
Absolutely.
And in the beginning, it may not be something you are truly passionate about, but if there is something there and there is something that can get you there, build, like we say, build the tree trunk. And then when you build that tree trunk, then you might be able to decipher which way you want to go. So, no, I agree. I think both of us, definitely, there's truth to both ways. If you can find, find that business model. You always say, don't forget the business model, right?
Don't miss the business model.
Because I'm sure I'm looking at Mike and Kathy, I'm like, this HVAC is the tree trunk. But what I see them doing for future generations is way beyond HVAC.
Ooh, can we just say that real quick? Because Rhy, when did you start? I mean, I know you were working in the mental health profession before, correct?
2004. Yep, 2004. Okay. I was in adult mental health until 2015, and I left.
Yeah. So there's context. Like, there's always going to be something that leads to what you're doing.
That's it.
So I say that by context of what Rhy was doing before. But even with Mike, at the end of the day, if you ask each individual what we do, social emotional learning, working with kids in EQ, and then Mike and Kathy, providing comfort, in both the summer and winter months.
Comfort. Absolute
and providing
comfort.
Absolute comfort. I'm just trying. We was doing some work this weekend, so providing comfort, in the summer and winter months, and we're here to change your life, not change your pockets. And then, whether me using as real estate as a vehicle to get into that coaching space, at the end of the day, everybody, I want y'all to remember this. No matter what it is that you're doing, make sure that you're serving others.
Come on.
Serve, give, and it shall be given unto you. That is not a metaphor. That is not a hyperbole. It is literal. I see Daniel, Mr. Danny Buckaloo. I don't know if I'm saying that right, Daniel. I apologize if I didn't, but I had an opportunity to meet him this weekend. And the way that Mike's been able to pour into him and give to him, you can see how much that's affected and impacted. And that's just part of being in the community. But if you're always going into community looking what you can take, you're not going to survive long. If you go and you're always looking to see what you can give, the return is going to be endless. And Mike, if you could just talk about what they did for you up in Lansing this weekend. And it's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice. And what they did for you and Kathy, so we can start wrapping this up so we can prep for day 2 of the R2R Summit, y'all. But go ahead, Mike. Let me tell the people what them wild dogs did.
All right, so E and CJ made a call out the week before in Atlanta. Said he wants you to have a team together, a pipe hitting team that's going to support you, and gave us the blueprint. So I came back, and the Wild Dogs are my team. They're my family. They've welcomed us in wholeheartedly, out of nowhere, and just kept us tight and been there for us. And I said, hey, look, this is what they asked me what I got out of the weekend. So I told them the straight blueprint. They go, we're in, Mike. We're in. And I'm going to try not to cry, man. I'm going to try. But it's so passionate.
Cry.
Right? It never happened
to
us in
see
our
tears.
Life. Yeah, bro. They surprised us in Michigan this weekend. They drove 12 hours. Some people drove, 10, 15 hours. Mario showed up with Edie and, Dan and his wife and family, Tiff. I mean, it was just something that I've never experienced in my life, that people believe in us. Like, we believe in us, but when other people believe in you, it takes you to a whole nother level, man. It broke a ceiling for us. Like, I had passion and drive before. Man, I'm going through some walls now. You have no idea what's coming. God is just putting it on me, and like we're going. Like now we have a hard, dedicated, God-fearing, God-loving team that believes what we believe, the like-mindedness, and we're all on the hunt together, and we're all going to succeed together. Blood, sweat, and tears. I couldn't be more thankful.
Bro, thank you for that, man. Thank you.
How about for you, Kathy? What was going on inside of you during that time? Did you know about it or?
No, it was complete shock because we met. I thought we were just going to have dinner with Dory that night. So we met at the church. We picked her up and we told her, hey, we're going to head to this restaurant. She goes, oh, what about this one? I was like, we want to go to the Japanese steakhouse. Let's go there. And we got to the Japanese steakhouse. We got our table and she like disappeared for like 10 minutes. I'm like, Mike, is she okay? Like, did she leave?
Typical
We're like,
Dory.
no, her purse and coat's still here. The next thing you know, Dory walks in, then Tiff walks in, Dan and his wife and the kiddos walk in, Edie and Mario walk in. Like everyone just walked in all at one time. We're like, it took me a minute just to even register, like, how'd they all get here? Like, how'd they know we were here? Like, what's going on? And next time I just looked at him, he looks at me, like we're like both like I'm trying not to bawl at this point. And he was losing it. But no, yeah, just blown away because we have wanted to have family, friends in our lives for a long time. And any time that we ever got the closest people closest to us, they burned us. They used us. They got what they wanted. And then next thing you know, when we needed them, they were nowhere to be found.
Yeah, when I got sick and almost died, I looked up and everybody's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Walk us through a little bit of that, bro. I know Ray and I know, but if you're okay with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I got COVID really bad. Kathy had taken me to the hospital. I had a massive seizure. I locked up, and they admitted me and said, "Look, you're not making it out. Like, you need to get your last will and testament together. That's it for you. Like, bro, this is it." I'm like, nah. So I prayed, and I called a friend of mine who's a respiratory therapist in the Navy, and she goes, "I want you to roll over on your stomach." And that was on Tuesday. I was out by Thursday. I'm the only person on the floor in that whole hospital of 140 rooms that walked out of that hospital that day. They were taking body bag after body bag. So it was a life-changing experience. I'm like, no, I'm not done. God's got something else for me. So ever since then, we have been working hard to show God how grateful we are that I'm still here and we're still together.
There it is.
We have been some through a lot of trials, not only personally, but emotionally, spiritually. We've had a lot of things put onto us that we should have never survived from, but we did. You know, I could have been burying him, and you know, God definitely has His hand put us together for a reason. Because together we are so much stronger together. Because we both came from broken pasts, we both had broken relationships prior. So coming into this marriage, like we knew what we wanted of each other.
We knew we had to fight.
And we knew, and we had to fight for it. We fought from day one, and we will fight till whatever time it's till. Even this past year, we worked through a lot of trials too. This past April, our oldest son, he went through some mental health issues. He tried to commit suicide. We've had, with Mike going to the hospital.
My mom dying.
His mom passed away in March. So between January, March, April, part of May, this year was our most trying year of all, honestly.
Then we met y'all good people.
Yes.
And I was gonna say, what month did you join the mastermind?
So we joined in June at their summit. That was my birthday present from Kathy, and it's still to this day the best birthday present ever.
Man, look at that! You're going through your go through, and right around the corner.
I don't think people know how important this community really is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I
You out
love
here,
it.
someone cutting them
Yeah.
onions over here too, man. What the
Sorry, guys.
heck, man? Dang, who's chopping them onions
No.
over here, man? Allergy
Yeah.
season.
Sorry. But you know what I mean? Like you guys have changed my life and helped my marriage. You know, and Jazz Abrams, I can't even say enough about Jazz with the boundaries. I mean, people think it's just a podcast, but it's way more than that. I got to give her like love on this because you know between her and you guys and like the community LDHE, you know the Wild Dogs, you all know how important that community is, that love, and it's real and it's given. It's give. There's no take. It's a word of generosity, man. It's just something you can't get anywhere else.
We gonna keep fighting.
Come on.
Oh
Gonna
yeah,
keep
Yeah.
fighting
We
you
just
on that
getting
one, Mike.
started too. Come on. I love it. I
right.
love
We
it.
only made such close relationships. Like we don't even call any of you guys friends anymore. Like you're family. Like honestly, we are family. Like Edward and Anna. You know, we didn't know. We only lived 45 minutes from each other. We would have never met each other if it wasn't for the summit and getting into the mastermind. We would have never gotten to meet Rye,
Danielle.
his amazing wife Danielle. Yes, I
Oh,
love.
hey, she's excited. She's like, they're gonna be our neighbors next year. Like she is on the
Yeah.
look for whatever y'all want, whatever y'all
Yeah,
looking for, whatever you need. And every
Yeah.
time we go to the events, we're like, hey, we can't wait next year or sometime soon. We gonna have the Haneys plus the Haneys.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it's amazing the timing. And I just wanted to point that out, right? Like for folks who are going through their go through, where they're in their storm right now, like keep your faith in God, keep your faith in yourself, keep your faith in your team, in your partner. And then look at the gift that Kathy gave for his birthday. No matter what y'all were going through, here it is, and boom, like it's just getting started. So thank you both for sharing. There's a lot of air hugs in the chat, a lot of love yous in the chat, a lot of was it Mike has me shedding thug tears watching this. Candace
Tell
from
me, Trina.
Candace from Arizona is
Trina, we
giving
gonna
you a virtual hug. You know, she wants to get on a plane and give you a hug right now. There's Danielle with the woohoo. We love y'all. Again, so much love from. And again, I say this because, like when I talked last night at the summit, Ray and I starting this podcast was just going to be a documentation of our testament to E, and just being thankful for being in heaven. But look at what God is doing with it. Look at what God is doing with it, with us, with the community, and with our new community that we're growing. So yeah. I don't even know how to end this one. Ray, go ahead, man. How do you want to end this one, bro? Onions over here.
Yeah. So it's the first time we've had tears on this podcast. I'm sure it won't be the last. Mike, Kathy, thank you both for being, just vulnerable. And Tiff said it right there as far as, even in the midst of something life-changing, at the midst of everything, like, something life-changing come out of it. And that's where we got to let y'all know, like, every trial, every tribulation is for a reason. That's my power verse, James 1, verses 2 through 4. Count it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when facing trials of many kind. Because it is in the testing of your faith that you endure, and endurance shall outlast all things. The only way that you get endurance is through these tests. And if you're trying to get into business, you're trying to get in a relationship, for like what Mike and Kathy said, people burned them. They wanted something, they took it from them. I guarantee they're not in any prosperous position right now in their life. They may win for a moment, but the season will show what it is that they're actually going to get. When you get in communities like this, Ryan mentioned it, we have day ones, people that we've actually grown up with, that we just happen to be in community with just because of our proximity. But when you have your day twos, the people that choose to be in your life, the people that choose to stick with you, the people that choose to truly not just say they support you, but demonstrate that they support you. There's a demonstration there. There's a power when you have people that are willing to demonstrate, not just speak, speak life, but they demonstrate and show that they truly are there for you, whatever it is that you need. Get around those people. This podcast was to share our perspective on lessons and teachings from ET, but truly it's about the community and the people that you can get around. And when you do that, everything else will flow from it. Man, I was so happy just to see Vea with Emma, to see Vea with Bella, to see Vea doing splits with Dari. Like, just because I wanted her to be around people that I truly want to help. There's a difference there. So if you're in business just to be in business, I got nothing for you. But if you're in business and you're in a profession and you're in a relationship, whatever it's platonic, romantic, professional, you're there to serve, I promise you it's coming back to you. I promise you. And Mike, Kathy, I don't know what's ahead of you, but I know it's big. And when it happens, I'm just going to ask y'all to go ahead and submit your adoption papers for me. You don't have any brown kids and you need one. I had to lighten it up at the end.
Look, you get a little sweet spot. Hey, man, don't forget about us. But no, on some real stuff, that is, I cannot agree with Ray more. And Mike, Kathy, it's just been a pleasure just to get to know you for the last couple months. And we feel like we've known each other for years. And this is just the beginning. You know, you and I and Danielle, we got to be on the Rock. We were on the Rock on your pre-anniversary, spending time with y'all. So yeah, this is just the beginning, y'all. So thank y'all for everyone who's dropping so much love in the chat. Y'all are amazing, best community ever. And as we always say, and we got guests this time to do it with us, like we always say, don't just go with us.
Grow with us.
Grow with us. There we go. Yo, love y'all.
Take
care.
Care.
What is it? 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't forget, if you haven't registered, R2R Summit is going down. Yesterday was fire, and today is going to be, if that's a real word, fire.
Fire. All right, y'all. We love y'all. Stay connected. Again, thank you, Mike and Kathy Haney. Absolute Comfort and Son LLC, where we're changing lives and not changing pockets, y'all. Let's get it. Peace.
That's good. Love y'all.